McGraw-Hill Professional presents The Communication Habit, Strategies that Set You Apart and Leave a Lasting Impression. Written by Joan Katen. Narrated by Kristi Burns. The journey begins. This book is all about you. It's about helping you to recognize and reinforce your strengths and increase your awareness of what you could be unconsciously doing to undermine your success and the perception that you want others to have of you. The information and strategies shared in this book stem from the thousands of questions, concerns, and challenges that I've been asked about, best practices shared, and the many important topics broached by professionals across geography, industry, position, and gender. It's geared toward the standards of professional business environments in the United States. This information may very well be appropriate for application in other countries and corporate cultures that have similar business standards and customs. If you work abroad or for an international company based in the United States, it's also essential that you learn the specific country's customs and courtesies, as well as the particular workplace's culture, expectations, and norms. Throughout this journey, I will share important research and information, offer opportunities for coaching, and address how to navigate some of the most common and awkward workplace situations. I encourage you to take a moment to think about the exercises and questions posed in the coaching corner and how the information highlighted or the questions asked impact you. It's in these moments, when you turn the mirror inside and think about how the information shared relates to you, that self-discovery and growth happen. Some of the challenges and concerns consistently shared with me include: how do I deal with difficult people? What can I do to be a better listener? How can I effectively communicate with higher-ups? How can I get myself heard in a meeting? What can I do to build my confidence when communicating? If I'm seen as unapproachable, how do I fix that? How do I stop someone from hijacking the conversation without damaging the relationship? Coaching Corner. What are some of the challenges that you face when it comes to effectively communicating or interacting with others? By being aware of the communication challenges that you face, you can start to think about which strategies highlighted in the pages of this book will help you to best address them. You are officially on your way to setting yourself apart and making a lasting impression at work. Here's to learning the subtleties and secrets to achieving greater success. Chapter 1. First Impressions and Perceptions. We do not see things as they are. We see things as we are. Anaïs Nin, French-American writer. The goal is for you to have the tools you need to make a positive first and lasting impression that's a true reflection of your strengths and core values, and ultimately, be perceived by others the way you envision. This chapter highlights 4 key elements of making an impression and the subtle nuances that contribute to the perceptions that others form of you. Knowing this information can help you to increase self-awareness, leverage your strengths, and focus on areas that may need more of your attention. In order to increase self-awareness, it's important to look inward. Coaching Corner. How do you want to be perceived by others in your professional environment? And are you being perceived that way? In a column, list 3 to 5 words that express how you would like to be perceived by others in your work environment. In a column, list 3 words that reflect how your manager perceives you. This can be based on performance evaluations, nonverbal clues, emails, and conversations you've had with your manager. In a column, list 3 words that describe how your direct reports perceive you. If you don't have direct reports, list words that describe how your colleagues perceive you. This can be based on nonverbal clues, emails, comments you've received, or a 360-degree assessment that gathers anonymous feedback from your direct reports, colleagues, and leaders. Now, take a moment to review your list of words side by side. Is how you want to be perceived aligned with how you're being perceived by others? If yes, wonderful. Keep up the good work. You will learn to reinforce and strengthen that positive perception by the information included in this book. If no, don't worry. By picking up this book, you're already on your way to increased self-awareness, growth, and ultimately, to being perceived the way you want. If you had trouble coming up with the 3 words for how you want to be perceived by others, that's important to note. If you don't know how you want to be perceived, how can you make the choices that will help you to be perceived the way you want? In addition, if you had difficulty coming up with words for how your boss perceives you, it's important to find out. How can you be confident that you're being perceived the way you want by leadership if you're not sure how leadership perceives you? Perception happens instantly and often unconsciously. Knowing what you're being evaluated on can help you make a positive first and lasting impression. 7 seconds or less. Research shows that you have 7 to 30 seconds, and often less than 7 seconds, to make a first impression. That's no time at all. How can we expect to impress anyone in 7 seconds or less? You can, and I'll share with you how. 4 core areas of a first impression. For the last several years, I've traveled over 100 days a year giving keynote talks, leading workshops, and engaging with a wide range of professionals. I've had the opportunity to answer questions from individuals across geography, industry, position, rank, and gender, smart, skilled, and successful men and women. They are leaders at all levels, new hires, aspiring managers, employees who feel stuck and want to get promoted, those seeking to impress senior leadership, and others who wish to take their experience and knowledge to other organizations. Throughout all of my interactions and engagements, I've concluded that there are 4 core areas that people consistently use to evaluate one another. 1. Appearance. 2. Communication. 3. Interactions. 4. Social business etiquette. Research shows that within the first few seconds of meeting you, people make certain significant determinations. These impressions are a result of both conscious and unconscious stimuli, including education level, competence, level of sophistication, trustworthiness, economic status. Individuals can unconsciously undermine themselves in one or more of the 4 core areas. This is usually due to a lack of self-awareness. Could the same be true with you? Could you be undermining yourself? The key is to be in the know, to have information that allows you to make deliberate decisions and create the perception of yourself that you envision. The following sections highlight important aspects of the 4 core areas of a first impression. Appearance. Appearance is the totality of what you're visually communicating. The parts include body language, attire, accessories, and grooming and hygiene. Coaching Corner. Take a moment to consider, what are you visually communicating at work? Body language. Body language is such an important topic in communicating the right message that I've dedicated all of Chapter 3 to it. Therefore, let's continue by taking a closer look at the other aspects of appearance and a few key strategies. Attire. The standards, expectations, and guidelines around what constitutes acceptable and appropriate professional attire constantly shift with the world around us. They are impacted by several factors, including country code, company culture, comfort, trends, industry, position, and personal preference. When considering what to wear, think about what you want to visually communicate. Choose attire based on the following 5 guidelines and ask yourself the accompanying questions. 1. Fit. How does each piece fit? Are you sacrificing fit for fashion? Improper sleeve length, A blazer so snug that you're unable to button it when standing or move your arms with ease, or pants that are the wrong size or length can make you feel self-conscious and undermine a confident presence. 2. Fabric. Is the fabric appropriate for both the season and the work environment? Could the fabric be perceived as too casual, unprofessional, or outdated for the company culture or your role? 3. Color. What characteristics do you want to communicate? Colors can play a key role in how you're perceived. They can increase your visibility, reflect a confident presence, exude positivity, and distinguish you. They can also undermine your appearance by making you blend into the background and create misperceptions about your energy and personality. One of my favorite colors in the professional arena is navy blue. Studies show that navy blue implies intelligence and reflects approachability, confidence, trust, and professionalism. It's also true that the best colors for you are the ones that make you feel comfortable, confident, and reflect your professional responsibilities, personality, and aspirations. 4. Pattern. What is the purpose of the pattern? Patterns can be a great way to add interest and a little pop of personality to any professional ensemble. Be careful, as busy patterns can be distracting and detract from your appearance and your message. When it comes to adding a pop of color or pattern to an outfit, a great option is through accessories. A tie that pulls colors from the shirt and suit, a pashmina wrap, jewelry, or patterned socks, suspenders, and a silk scarf are effective ways to add dimension of interest to your look and create a polished appearance that pops. 5. Style. Does the style reinforce your personal brand? Whatever your personal style, make sure that it's appropriate for your position, your industry, the current time period, and the company dress code. You also want it to contribute to your sense of confidence. When you feel confident about how you look, it impacts so many other aspects of what you project. While you certainly want your style to reflect your personality, ensure that you're also respecting company policies and the general work environment. Paying attention to these details will help ensure that your attire is supporting the perception you want others to form of you. Here are a few more key strategies when it comes to your overall appearance. Whom do you admire? Observe those in your professional environment who are in the positions to which you aspire. What are they wearing? If they make a positive and polished impression, what specific attributes stand out? Dress for the position you want while taking into consideration the position you have. Show that you're committed to your success and are confident, competent, and professional, all without overshadowing your boss or alienating yourself from those around you. Ask your mentor or advocate for guidance. A mentor is an invaluable resource for many professionals. He or she is someone who can guide you in the professional realm and be an impartial sounding board. A mentor can span gender, industry, and position and give you unbiased, objective guidance and feedback. If you don't have a mentor, I highly recommend you consider finding one. See quick tip. The topic of appearance is often brought up by participants. Their questions usually revolve around finding the balance between being true to themselves and their personal preferences, and making sure they're also seen as fitting into their work environment and not undermining themselves. Sometimes getting an outside perspective can help to reinforce that you made the right decision, which allows you to wear your choice with confidence. Being aware of the subtle details of your appearance could mean all the difference to the impression others form of you. A deliberate detail that can help your outfit take center stage is your accessories. Quick tip: finding a mentor, a trusted advisor. Here are a few tips to get you started if you don't have a mentor. Think about a successful man or woman within or outside of your professional arena who is truly invested in helping you achieve your goals. Share with this individual what led you to ask him or her, and how this person's background, journey to success, or current role is well aligned with your individual aspirations. Connect for a brief introductory chat, and then plan phone calls or meetings on a more regular basis. While your conversations or catch-up meetings will be according to the mentor's availability, It's essential to note that the mentee drives the relationship. You're the one reaping the benefits of this professional success, time, insights, and guidance. Be proactive in connecting, show appreciation, and always prepare in advance for your meeting or call. Accessories. Accessories are a wonderful way to add another aspect to your look, complement your outfit, and enhance your overall image. The right accessories can add the finishing touches to any ensemble. In addition to the accessories themselves, the number and quality of accessories worn communicate a message. Similar to your attire, you want to avoid choosing accessories that detract or distract. As a starting point, or in a highly conservative work environment, consider limiting yourself to 3 accessories, in addition to any necessary items: glasses, wedding band or engagement ring, and watch. Then, based on the totality of your appearance, decide if something needs to be removed. In some industries, less is more, while others expect and respect a flashier statement. As famed fashion icon Coco Chanel once said, "Before you leave the house, look in the mirror and take one thing off." 2 important points to note. Pieces of your attire can count as accessories. If your outfit has very bold colors, distinct fabric, ornate stitching, or multiple patterns, these details may pop enough that additional accessories could look overwhelming. In this case, go lighter on the accessories. Also, if wearing a statement piece, an accessory that is more substantive in its size, bold in color, distinct in structure, instantly draws the eye to it, or is worn because it reflects a certain sentiment or makes a deliberate statement, a good guideline for staying professional without being distracting is to count it as 2 accessories. Just as wearing too many or the wrong accessories might undermine a polished look and the image you're trying to project, not wearing any accessories could undermine your goal of establishing a notable visual presence and translate into the misperception of your being less experienced. Besides attire and accessories, the final core area of appearance is your grooming and hygiene. Grooming and hygiene. The nonverbal element of grooming and hygiene plays a core role in the perception someone forms of you and is defined as how clean and neat you appear, as well as the health and wellness of your body. The critical importance of this core area is further reflected in studies that show when it comes to appearance, the top factors for reflecting executive presence are grooming and polish. Your appearance is one of the primary ways that managers and colleagues assess your professional abilities and potential. A polished appearance reflects intent, respect, and thoughtfulness. Studies also show that, more often than not, it will also translate into how others perceive the quality of your work product. Giving thought to your image, to your visual brand, will empower you to be perceived the way you want. Quick tip. The importance of executive presence. It's important to highlight executive presence when speaking about first impressions and perceptions, because the impression that many professionals want others to have of them is that they exude a notable presence. Harvard Business Review defines executive presence as your ability to project mature self-confidence, a sense that you can take control of difficult, unpredictable situations, make tough decisions in a timely way, and hold your own with other talented and strong-willed members of the executive team. Many of these core characteristics are reflected indirectly in how people position themselves during those initial first few seconds of interaction. Communication. Communication, or a lack thereof, can often be the source for your workplace successes and frustrations. Some of the key categories of communication that can help or hinder the perception that others form of you include nonverbal messaging, vocal delivery, words, listening, structure and organization of the message, written and e-communication, social media etiquette. Communication is such an invaluable skill and reportedly one of the top 3 most widely sought-after skills by employers. That, in addition to being the second core area of a first impression, it's also our core focus throughout the rest of this book. Interactions. The ability to interact effectively, build rapport, and make others feel at ease around you is key to distinguishing yourself, and it's the third core area of a first impression. The benefits and value of soft skills and of being someone who can easily interact with others and has the know-how to navigate common and awkward workplace situations with diplomacy, tact, and credibility are often the subject of daily blogs, articles, and research. The conversation surrounding interpersonal skills and the vital importance of how individuals conduct themselves seem to have been widely known for decades, with a study being traced back to 1918. Harvard University, Stanford Research Institute, and the Carnegie Foundation examined if there is a connection between how you conduct yourself and the level of professional success you achieve. The answer was yes. Technical skills accounted for less than 15% of one's value in obtaining, keeping, or advancing in a job. More than 85% of job success is based on personal conduct and the ability to put others at ease. How you conduct yourself and interact with others matters. Knowing how to navigate common and awkward conversations and interactions with consideration, confidence, and resolution has become increasingly more important for professional mobility and merit. Your image and interactions with others can often be a distinguishing factor when competence is the norm. There are many different aspects of interactions that are important to master. We all start in the same place, with a greeting. And for many, that is a handshake. The art of handshaking. The gesture of handshaking can instantaneously help to build rapport and reflect competence, respect, trustworthiness, and confidence. If not done well, it can also communicate discomfort or disinterest. When you're in a culture or business environment that expects and respects handshaking, there are subtle nuances that can help make your handshake most memorable and support the positive perception that you want others to form of you. Here are a few subtle nuances to mastering the handshake. Unless there are extenuating circumstances, a standard handshake is initiated with the right hand. The fleshy part between your index finger and thumb is called the web. Your web must fully connect with someone else's web to give a proper handshake. Curl your fingers around the other person's hand and pump 2 or 3 times, then release. It's one fluid motion stemming from the elbow, not the wrist or shoulder. The 2 words you want to remember are firm and brief. If you're too delicate, you could be misperceived as nervous, weak, or give the impression that you're lacking confidence and even trustworthiness. If you're overly strong or have an overzealous grip, you may be remembered as being a bone crusher or misperceived as trying too hard to build rapport or mask discomfort. As with most things, handshaking requires a balance and awareness. You don't want to be remembered for the wrong reasons. When shaking hands or being introduced to someone, in most situations, if and when possible, you'll want to stand. Standing is another way you can show respect for people, and it puts you in a position to easily make eye contact with the other person. Handshaking faux pas. The finger shake. When your webs don't connect, the result is a finger shake. This doesn't reflect the same positive impression or characteristics as a firm, brief handshake. If you're the receiver of the finger shake, one option is to quickly wiggle your hand into the web-to-web position. You can also use humor to diffuse any tension as you smile and say, "Let me try that again." Either option may seem awkward at first. Both are effective ways to honor that you'd like to give a firm, brief handshake and truly connect with this person. The glove shake. This shake is defined by the action of using 2 hands. An individual extends a standard right-handed shake and then covers the recipient's hand with his or her left hand. This handshake is often seen as a compliment because it's the initiator's way of expressing warmth in a professional arena toward the receiver. The intention behind the glove shake is to build connection quickly, utilize it when a kiss or hug may not be comfortable or appropriate, and honor the recipient with more warmth than a standard shake. It's also a shake that can easily be perceived as infringing on someone's personal space. A good guideline for personal space in the United States is approximately 2 arms lengths, which is the distance of a handshake. Once you touch the other person's hand, elbow, back, or shoulder while shaking hands, you've invaded that 2 arms length space and might unknowingly make the receiver uncomfortable. Make your determination based on your rapport with the recipient and his or her comfort. The pat shake. Patting the receiver's hand with your left hand while giving a standard right-handed shake can reflect affection or be seen as a condescending gesture. Avoid giving a pat shake since it can be perceived as patronizing. The power play shake. You may have noticed this handshake with some political figures or senior leadership in your organization. An individual gives a standard right-handed shake and then turns the receiver's hand over so that his or her palm is facing up. With this handshake, the initiator is in the more dominant role and has placed the receiver in a less powerful position. It's also important to mention that this gesture may not be intentional. Some initiators habitually bend their wrists inward while shaking hands, giving the appearance without having the intention of a power play shake. If you're the receiver of the power play shake, my guidance is to readjust your handshake to the proper technique and put yourself back on an even playing field with the initiator. If you're the receiver of other faux pas shakes, make a mental note for future interactions with those individuals and lead the shake next time. The key is to avoid using any of the handshakes highlighted unless you are consciously making the strategic choice to do so. Alternative greetings. With roughly 7.7 billion people in the world and 329 million individuals in the United States, there's a diversity of cultures, religions, capabilities, and comforts to consider. When you're in a culture, business environment, or among individuals who expect and respect handshaking, this gesture can instantaneously help to build rapport and reflect competence, trustworthiness, and confidence. Conversely, if you're in a business culture that is less ceremonious, you see someone on a more regular basis, or you interact with individuals who instinctually offer an embrace, or for religious or other reasons prefer not to touch, a standard handshake may be too formal or improper. In these environments, shaking hands could reflect disinterest and create discomfort or distance. This is when alternative greetings, such as smiling, nodding, giving a verbal greeting, jumping into small talk, or reciprocating a culturally customary hug, wave, or kiss on the cheek may work better. Whether gesturing hi, handshaking, or hugging your hello, the key to effective interactions is making others feel respected, welcome, and at ease around you. The overarching element is to set a positive tone from the start by acknowledging the other person. How you do that is up to you. Quick tip: protecting your personal space. If you're on the receiving end of a hug and you don't like to be touched or have your personal space invaded, there is a subtle strategy to honor your comfort without embarrassing the initiator. Smile, verbally greet this individual while extending your handshake sooner than you normally would to greet others, and lock your elbow. Shaking with a straight arm is a tiny tweak that will help to protect your personal space by preventing the person from getting too close. Smiling and verbally greeting this individual will be the focus. Without it, they may be more apt to notice the shift. All most people care about is that they are greeted and that they feel welcome around you. How you choose to do that depends on the person and the context of the exchange. Coaching Corner. How do you honor your personal comfort while still making others feel welcome around you? Throughout this book, we will continue to address key situations and answer frequently asked questions that will help you to progress your interpersonal success. Social business etiquette. The last of the core areas of a first impression is social business etiquette, which consists of your manners and behaviors, engaging in common courtesies, and your ability to effectively navigate food, drink, and conversation in a business setting. Some places requiring skilled interactions and social business etiquette include industry networking functions and work events, holiday parties and cocktail receptions, business meetings over a meal, after-work happy hours, client engagements and events. The ability to exhibit confidence, competence, and manners in a work-related social setting is another layer that contributes to other people's perceptions of you. Coaching Corner. Have you ever been put off by the way someone ate? Is there a habit that you have around food or drink that could potentially undermine you in the eyes of others? Here are a few guidelines for social business situations. Strategy number 1. Know your goal. Social business events always have a business-related purpose.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?